Hey everybody, it's Nick from Hotspot, and I am joined here today by one of my favorite players in the LCK, which is Kiin. We'll start out with a bit of an interesting question. I just watched Kiin's first ever interview, which was 2017 after beating Rocks Tigers. Him and Septed took an interview. That's interesting because 2017 was also the last time there was esports here in Vancouver, in Canada. So I've been thinking about the journey of League of Legends over those past 8 years, and I'm interested to know, Kiin, if you from 8 years ago could see yourself now, what do you think you'd think, and what would you think about where the game is now?
제가 사실은 이 인터뷰 하기 직전에 기인 선수의 첫 인터뷰를 막 보고 왔어요. 17년도였고 이제 락스를 잡고 나서 셉티드 선수랑 인터뷰를 한 영상이었는데 사실은 공교롭게 또 17년도가 이제 캐나다에서 마지막으로 국제대회가 열렸던 때거든요. 8년 전을 돌아봤을 때 좀 이 자리까지 올 수 있을 거라고 상상이 되시는지 좀 쭉 소회를 한번 돌이켜 본다면 어떤 생각이 드시나요?
사실 데뷔를 처음 했을 때 지금까지 이제 프로 생활을 할 거라고는 전혀 생각하지 못했고 그 전에 좀 그만둘 거라 생각을 했는데 생각보다 엄청 이제 프로 생활을 길게 하는 거에 있어서 되게 감사한 일인 것 같고 이제 남은 프로 생활도 열심히 할 수 있게 최대한 잘 해보겠습니다.
When I first debuted, I could never imagine myself playing this long. You know, I thought I would have retired even a little earlier than this. So I'm very, very grateful for the longevity of the professional career that I have, and I hope I can continue.
All right, awesome. So just some general questions now. How long have you been in Vancouver? This is my hometown, so I'm just wondering, have you done anything fun? Seen any cool sights, just seeing how you're enjoying Vancouver, and if you've been taken in any of the events or whatever?
또 이제 제가 밴쿠버가 고향이고 밴쿠버 출신인데 밴쿠버 언제 도착하셨는지도 궁금하고 좀 주변을 둘러보거나 좀 경험해 볼 시간이 있으셨나요?
사실 이제 주변을 둘러볼 시간은 그렇게 많지 않았는데 차를 타고 이동하면서 이제 주변 풍경을 봤는데 이제 좀 한국에서는 느낄 수 없는 되게 이쁜 거리들이 많아가지고 되게 좋았던 것 같습니다.
I didn't really get much time to have some experience around the town, but while I was like going back and forth in the car, I was just looking around and the streets are so pretty. It was very different from Korea. I thought they were very beautiful. I loved it.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. So obviously you've been very busy since you've arrived. Have you had the chance to watch any of the games that have been happening up until now?
그러면 이제 갓 도착하셨으면 MSI 플레이 경기도 많이 시청하시지 못했을 것 같은데 좀 경기 내용 보신 거 있나요?
일단 워익이 나온 거는 되게 일단 봤던 것 같습니다.
I witnessed the Warwick game.
Oh no, not the Warwick game. Okay. So I'm interested to know, since you saw the Warwick game, do you think that the Warwick game was a problem with the pick or just a problem with the execution? Because that's been a topic of discussion, shall we say, since the game.
워윅 경기를 보셨다니까 그 경기가 워윅 픽 문제였을까요? 아니면 플레이 문제였다고 생각하세요?
일단 초반에 좀 딜교가 망한 게 좀 컸다고 생각을 해서 초반이 가장 힘들었던 것 같습니다.
I think the biggest issue was Warwick losing the early trade really bad. So I think that was very painful.
Yeah. Hard when you're already losing to Aatrox. So the next questions are just for fun, have nothing to do with pro play, but I like to ask them just to get some personality out. So the first one is, has Kiin seen any of Arcane yet? Has he managed to catch any episodes?
혹시 아케인 좀 보셨나요?
제가 아케인은 아예 안 봤습니다.
Not at all.
Okay. Assuming he's aware of the idea, right? It's an animated story about League of Legends characters. Riot has said there will be another show with new characters, new regions. If Kiin were put in charge of deciding which characters it was about, is there any character that he'd like to see get their own animated show? Does he have a favorite champion that he'd like to see on the big screen?
대충 그래도 아케인 컨셉은 아시죠? 뭐 바이, 뭐 징크스가
네.
메인 캐릭터고 뭐 그래서 라이엇이 최근에 이제 또 다른 이런 애니메이션을 출시할 계획이다라고 했는데 만약에 기인 선수가 이런 걸 총괄할 수 있다면 뭐 어떤 챔프가 주된 뭐 주인공이 돼서 이야기가 펼쳐졌으면 좋겠는지.
뭐 일단 라이즈 챔피언도 좋아해서 라이즈가 이제 주인공으로 됐을 때 뭐 룬 마법사가 되는 과정을 알아봐도 재밌을 것 같아요.
One of my favorite champions is Ryze.
Oh, hell yeah,
So I,
yeah.
I wish it could be a main character of him, becoming a rune sorcerer or something.
Oh yeah, no, I think that would be awesome because Rise covers basically the whole history of League, so that's great. And the next one's sort of similar, which is Riot has been doing these themed seasons. We went to Noxus, the map got a makeover, we got a bunch of skins and comics and games and stuff. Now we're in Ionia, the same thing is happening. Summoner's Rift looks different. I'm interested to know if he could pick. Riot has said it can either be like a place in the League of Legends world, or it could be a skin line like Project, High Noon, that kind of stuff. If Keen could choose what the makeover theme for Summoner's Rift would be for a season, what does he think would be a cool look for the map?
이제 라이엇이 또 올해 시즌제를 좀 도입하면서 이제 녹서스 맵도 있었고 지금은 또 아이오니아 맵이 됐는데 앞으로도 계속 이런 식으로 운영을 할 것 같거든요. 또 이제 그러면 기인 선수 개인적으로는 이런 테마의 소환사 협곡에 나오면 좋겠다. 뭐 프로젝트 뭐 스킨라인도 돼요. 뭐 지역도 되고 아니면 프로젝트 뭐 하이눈 뭐 전투사관학교 등등 어떤 게 제일 이쁠 것 같나요?
뭐 암흑의 별 이런 컨셉으로 나와도 맵이 되게 이쁠 것 같습니다.
The Void Star line, the purple
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. I've actually gotten that answer a couple times. I think people really want to see the purple map. All right,
많이들 뽑는다고 하네요.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, we'll go back to stuff that's more relevant to MSI now. Coming into this tournament, I think you guys are strong favorites in a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people see you as, by a pretty significant margin, the strongest team at this tournament. When you look at the competition here, who do you think poses the best competition to you guys? Who's the strongest team that you think is amongst your competitors?
이번 MSI에서 젠지에 대한 기대가 굉장히 높은데 젠지 상대로 가장 큰 적수가 될 것 같은 팀은 어디인가요?
딱히 한 팀으로 꼽기보다는 좀 LCK, LPL이 아무래도 좀 강세를 띨 것 같아서 그 지역이 좀 그 지역이 좀 셀 것 같습니다.
It's hard to pick just one team, but I can say LPL and LCK are the two top regions. Will be a big kind of the regions that I'm looking out for the most.
Yeah. Absolutely. The next question is sort of a little more generally. I've been talking to a lot of NA pros about this, but the big news from this year is obviously that Fearless has come in and is now the format for everything, MSI, Worlds, the whole nine yards. You played for a long time in the old draft format like you're talking about. You have a really long career. As a veteran, what is it like playing Fearless, and how do you feel about the format?
이제 제가 북미를 담당하는 기자로서 많은 선수분들이랑 얘기했을 때 가장 큰 토픽 중에 하나가 이제 올해 도입된 피어리스 포맷인 것 같은데 또 기인 선수 긴 커리어를 보유하고 있고 되게 대부분의 시간을 사실 옛날 방식의 뱀픽으로 치르셨는데 베테랑으로서 피어리스 포맷에 대한 경험이 어땠는지 의견이 어떠신지 궁금합니다.
일단 개인적인 느낌으로는 이제 그전 뱀픽 방식은 좀 이제 연습량이 그렇게 많이 필요로 요구하진 않았는데 이제 피어리스 방식이 도입되면서 이제 여러 가지 챔피언을 많이 해야 되다 보니까 일단 연습량이 좀 되게 많이 중요해진 것 같습니다.
Prior to the Fearless format, I didn't really think that you are supposed to practice a lot. You should be grinding a lot. But with the Fearless format, you should be always ready to kind of pull out whatever you have in the pocket. In such a long phase, so I think practice has become even more important.
Yeah. So that kind of ties in with, like I was mentioning, I watched his first interview just a little bit ago, and they were talking about how much you enjoyed those aggressive top laners. I think at the time they were referencing him playing Lucian. Do you still enjoy that playstyle as you did when you debuted? And do you feel like Fearless gives you more potential to potentially pull out fun picks? I'm not saying that we're going to see Lucian this tournament, but does he feel like it allows him to flex that creativity that he's had since he debuted?
또 이제 아까 말씀드렸던 17년도 인터뷰로 돌아가자면 그 당시 인터뷰에서도 뭐 루시안과 같은 공격적인 탑 챔프를 좋아한다, 즐긴다라고 말씀하셨는데 여전히 그런 스타일의 픽도 좋아하시는지, 그리고 피어리스 포맷 덕분에 그런 좀 다양하고 좀 창의적이고 유동적인 픽들이 나올 수 있다고 생각하시나요?
사실 이제 공격적인 픽들은 언제든지 좀 나오는 메타가 되면 이제 되게 재밌게 플레이할 수 있을 것 같은데 오히려 막상 피어리스가 도입되니까 이제 탑 라인의 경우가 좀 이제 조합을 맞춰야 되는 챔피언을 뽑을 경우가 좀 더 많아져가지고 공격적인 챔피언이 이제 1, 2세트, 3세트 정도 빠지면 이제 보통 좀 조합적으로 안정적인 챔피언이 많이 나오는 것 같아요.
Also I think with the Fearless draft, we can always see some aggressive picks and like stylish champions on the top lane. But part of it, I want to say, with the Fearless format, top lane has become a role that kind of round out the comp for the team.
Definitely.
So aggressive picks are viable until like third game, and then later on, usually top laners are on the duties that can kind of stabilize the team's comp.
Yeah, especially when those engaged supports start trickling away and you really need a front line. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Keen. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for translating and awesome.